Mhm. Hello, how are you? Oh my god! You're muted. Yes, on the stream. Guys, tell her what you think of her being muted.
Hello? Hello? It wasn't me being muted. For some reason, my audio input capture just stopped recognizing my microphone. Okay, hello.
Huh.
Thank you for telling me very early on. Okay. So, yes, very good start, very good start. We're very close to the end. Today I'm feeling way better than yesterday about everything. So hopefully more to say too. And in general,
It's
just I'm looking forward to being done. Just because I really want to get to Hive Soup and I want to read the epilogues finally. Again, on my own, we'll talk about it on stream later, and at that point, it will be. I feel like that will be at least better than this series. Uh, Trying to copy BRB Craft, I no, I could never copy that greatness. I could never compare. Okay, hello Doc, hello Isn't, hello Betty, hello JG Enigma, hello... That's everybody. Okay, let's see. Bum ba da bum. Bam. So, last time we obviously went over the entire game over part and everything that led up to it. I still have yet to read your comment, Doc. I will get around to it. I'm sorry. I did read Cooler's comment, which I agree with, but I feel like the feelings of sunk cost are a bit too strong. I feel like I'm just gonna finish the series before High Swap anyway. That's it.
yeah, we're
If
very far now anyways.
yeah, yeah. Like again, the my guessing is that it's gonna be like two streams including this one. So yeah,
Mhm.
tomorrow is not this. Tomorrow is Disco Elysium again, just so that I can breathe. um, yeah, we'll see. I have some stuff to say about the entire like part of John and Teresa's plan and everything. There is some stuff there. In general, I find it that I do like that part, which I know that it's not a very popular opinion. But we'll get to that when we'll get to that. So close this and shabadabam, shabadaboom. Oh, no problem. I just expressed my grievances with Game Over, as expected, as expected. And you also wrote Burrito. I did see that. 90% of Homestuck streamers quit the post discussion before making it to the end. Yeah, as if I'm not the only one, also. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Oh wait, no, I need to actually still. No, no. Okay, I'm sure. I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm also a little scatterbrained, but my brain is a little less dead today. I really think this part was a little bit of Hasi expressing their own frustration with the readers again. You know what? That is a fine interpretation too. But it's if that is something it is a little bit strange for that to be expressed through Caliborn when he's also meant to be someone you're laughing at in this moment too, even if this is like expressing at least some humanity. I like the visuals of it though. The fact that well, in general, this is kind of interesting when you think about it because obviously we're just getting to see his old art style, the all lines, they're all right angles, but really this is like him dreaming, right? So is this a dream bubble? Like, we know that dream bubbles can take the shape of like not necessarily a direct like place from your or somebody else's memory. After all, you know, the first time we saw dream bubble was you know, Jade Wake Up, which definitely showed a very different, like something very different than what we got used to later as what a dream bubble is. But it's just interesting that that comes back here with Caliborn specifically, you know. But yeah, I also like the choice here to just reuse this. Here's also the thing about Caliborn, and I guess this scene too in general. I like what this is also doing in the sense of, you know, while also making comedy of it, it's showing that like in the middle of him being this figure that obviously doesn't care much for others' lives, he just cares for himself mostly. Like, obviously he is that person. He still somehow like was hurt by another person's opinion on his art. That I think provides some like strange interest to his character almost, which I would like. I don't even know what to comment on it, but it is definitely something. With the whole day in day out, I bring home the frickin' bacon and what do I get in return? That, yeah, you're probably right about that. I never thought about it. But it's completely a possibility. Also, in a legitimately cool style he's drawn in, yeah. The first instance of a nightmare bubble just for Caliborn? No, it's for Jaden Caliborn, come on now. My true passion is telling stories, and like if he's being genuine here, that is interesting, right? It's just, I don't know what to think of that considering everything else about him, you know? You know what I mean? I bleed the blood of a craftsman. I love how he separates his words like that. Yeah. Beyond this, the right angles didn't really come back though. Also, this is drawn over from the frame in Act 7, so probably already, but like the animation was probably already completed by this point. Man of Craft, newest class spec, exactly. Man of Gaka. This is traced from the finale? Yeah, that's what I said. And so I bide my time. Right, and then this, we get to get out of the dream, and then we get frickin' Calcoin. Him funding his little project, which, how does that, like, he should have all of the resources he needs in his current situation. Literally dominion over a solar system. But okay. Not much to say there in retrospect, though. I like... Wow. Fantastic. Caliborn NFTs when... No, he would be a fan, I think, unfortunately. Although there are probably a lot of people online who acted tough to only to lash out at criticism. Oh wait, hold on. Should this pocket by... No, okay, I'm not missing any context. Who acted tough only to lash out at criticism? You mean, like, are you like referring to here though, JG? Am I not getting something? Sorry. Caliborn's also a grifter. I mean, yeah, he would. He would not be opposed. Oh yes, this part. Sorry. Let me see what I can play here. Cancerous Core? Yes, you know what? Actually, good song for this. So here we see again the freaking... This is cool. Here we see again the the Incipisphere, but it's in its current state, and then we just get John and Roxy's planets left. And I like the striking imagery of this, because also in the GIF, like, you get to see the pixels, you get to see the stardust, and it feels like they are all like still like going apart, but some of those are like the actual crumbles. I don't know. I like the visuals on this. And also, it's interesting, I don't think I've ever actually noticed it. The fact that Durs here seems to be closer to... Oh, right! Durs is in the actual place where Jade's land was supposed to be. They switched places. I completely, like, forgot that that would be the case. Wow. Okay. That's actually awesome. Oh, no. Yeah, okay, I get it. I also wonder if Dad and Didi are still alive, since Durs got teleported away to where Lofa originally was. Yeah, like, they should be, right? Unless they got caught in the Hope Blast, which would suck. But I guess it doesn't matter, since everything's getting re-rolled. We'll get to that, But the general somberness of this, like removed from the context of the incoming scenes, is really good here. I like it. Especially how, since this is like a direct zoom in slash visual of what like this is, you know, we're getting like the pixels being these big chunks, and I like the visual of that too. I like how all of this looks here in this part, especially since it allows us to see some of Hussey's, like, you know, environmental drawing kicks again, because you get to see all of the chunks of the different planets. You get to see the molten centers of these planets like spilling out. I love how all of that looks, you know, in the big candy corn. It's really nice. Oh yeah, and this was super good too. Yeah, again, something that I think is underappreciated, even in the like situation where obviously a lot of people didn't like at this point where exactly the style of the comic was going. The environments in these moments are still drawn really, really well, I think. And the statue of Echidna, oh. I like how much of a big deal the denizens are made out to be, despite them being these default parts of the game. Oh. Wait, what was that noise? Oh, Luna muted, I think. Didn't warn again. Blah.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Because I just heard the noise. I think from your headphones. I don't know. Before I didn't hear it. Now I do. But to repeat myself, I like how big of a deal they are, despite being just regular parts of the game. But again, wish that they could have been a bigger deal, just like completely in focus, but they weren't, because
they
we
really,
sped through everything.
they really didn't focus at all on denizens.
Yeah,
That is a shame, even to me.
I like Echidna, and I like what little we have of her in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
But man, again, just beautiful, 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 and then vertical.
These are incredibly cool.
Rose's house. The trickstery plants.
Land of Crypts and Helium.
I don't remember now if I actually fully got into why I appreciate Trickster mode thematically. I don't remember if I actually got into that fully now, but it's been a while.
I don't think you did, but I don't remember for sure.
Well, just in case I didn't, to make it short, I like how it points out that those kinds of interpersonal issues can't just be waved away. And if they are, or if they were to be, it feels very unnatural. Like how their dialogue is while they are tricksters and always repeating, hey, we're solving all of our problems, we're solving all of our problems.
Yeah, that is... Yeah, I always found that to be a cool part of the whole trickster sequence.
Oh, Dave's land. I always loved it. Just industrial stuff plus lava is always so good. That's why that one level I really like. It's a very specific reference, but I like that. That's why I like that one level in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I think the third level of the lava world of the final area. It's very, very specific reference, but yeah. Also freaking part of Stonehenge. I don't think I ever paid attention to that. Man, so cool looking. And the lava just especially spilling out over this one. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And then we meet Dirk. Oh, Yaldabaoth statue. It's so grand, so cool. And then barely anything actually of Yaldabaoth. Like, a lot of the framing, like, before we actually get to like see him proper with, you know, I guess, you know, their like Caliborn's confrontation and their little stuff. Like, what we get to hear about the Yaldabaoth is really cool, and then, you know, obviously, yes, some of that is paid off, but it's like not, that doesn't feel like enough. But then I do also have to wonder, like, oh, am I being greedy by wanting more of this again? Like, I always feel, am I being greedy whenever I, like, make a remark like that towards Homestuck, you know? It just feels so big, and it feels like it could have been even bigger. Blah. That does sound very greedy, I feel. Okay, let me read that on chat. I wonder where Condi went to. I bet it stings that even after she killed her, Aranea did thwart her plans. Oh, right. Also interesting how Jake and Dirk's...
It depends. I think sometimes it feels a bit greedy. I think sometimes it's justified. It depends.
It depends. Okay. Also interesting that how Jake and Dirk's lands collided too, fittingly, but we don't see that happen during game over. Ooh, never noticed. Interesting. I do wonder what happened too. At one point, Condi and Aranea got distracted by Rose and Terezi respectively, fitting both seers. Yeah. I think at the time I assumed that Condi went back to Durs, maybe? I think that was what I was thinking at the time. I love Yaldabaoth so much, we learn a lot about him, but I still yearn for more. Wish I could have known about his, you know, counterpart. Especially since it's like we're getting those little bits, right? And then not fully, you don't get that full exploration of that. You just little like, you know, teases, and then the teases are for nothing. Like I'm just thinking of when he did the freaking what's his name? Abraxas, nah, yeah. Now I forgot his name, but Abraxas when he was first like referenced in the final part, and I'm like, oh, dude. Especially since, you know, if we actually got more unique character interactions, more just like generally of that final part, we could have also gotten like some more like focus on this is why Karkat's character is also important to everything. Meanwhile, in that final part, he also was just a little bit of a joke, you know. Even if we'd like to say, oh, he did a super cool thing because he beat Clover, and Clover is like impossible to beat, but like. You know that you're meant to be like, oh, ha ha ha, little at him, you know, in Collide too. Which sucks to me. It sucks. Especially considering that while maybe not as good of a fighter as Terezi, he should be like comparable, considering they both like achieved the same level, I guess, you know, of achievement that you could get in a Spurb session or a Scrub session. But that's just coming back to Karkat, and Karkat isn't present here right now. And no, Craft, you are not greedy for wanting more knowledge as power. Of course you'd say that! I like this though. And it's crazy that this is like their only their proper only interaction. After this they don't even talk once. Again, Dirk in the actual dialogue is just delegated to talking to Dave in that final part, right? Which is super good, but it also feels like there could have been something more after that, you know? And again, I feel like that's what people expected epilogues to be, you know? But I get but not, so this I've seen that opinion somewhere, like, you know, hashing like you know, completing those little loose ends when it comes to, you know, this character has to talk to this character because they have this relation but they've never actually talked, that kind of stuff. Especially since in those final moments after Collide, not this Collide, in those final moments after Collide, we do see Dirk and Jake kind of, you know, together again, not being that afraid to, you know, face each other, and we don't see any dialogue, and it just pains me that that is the case. Sad face. Colon open bracket. And here we see specifically his and Jake's here, and then Dave here, which I think is really cool. And does he just like die here in the Stardust, just like completely embraced, he just embraced oblivion? That's just so sad, if that is the case. I remember pointing this out. I was so confused when I first saw this because I thought this was Vriska, with you know, this being her actual thing and this being like her wings. I thought that's what that was. Oh man, her freaking. And this, Nyx and I forget the other's name. I'm sorry. Was it Hera? No, it wasn't. I don't think it was. But the tease of these guys, oh. Not even about the denizens, but just seeing more of the, you know, Alpha Kids lands. I've already expressed that before.
Yeah.
So many things just feel incomplete because we rush things, and then when we have like longer periods of time, like the Alpha Kids session, we don't actually explore those longer periods of time. They played for multiple months, and we barely saw anything of that. We saw when they started, and then when it all went to crap. Sigh. But this is a good scene in general, especially since I think it in a very believable way it presents this thing of this character obviously knowing that this version is of, you know, her mom isn't the one that, you know, actually was in her universe, actually was preparing to for Roxy to have a good life and stuff. This wasn't the one, but she still feels some kind of connection, and so she, you know, calls her mom and stuff, and has those sort of feelings. This in general, this is good. I think this is good. Hello, not Terra Firma. Doc says, it just occurred to me the unbreakable katana brain ghost Dirk used never stopped existing since Aaaaand used it to kill Jane and Jake unintentionally. Oh right, yeah, it just manifested with the Hope Heart thing, but never went away? That's strange. A you where Dirk goes with John and Roxy would be awesome. That is very much in the realm of possibility. So now there are 3 katanas, one with Jake and Jane's bodies, one held by Dirk right now, and the one that's impaled bro that Roxy will take. Yeah, but I guess the first one mentioned here would have been re-rolled, you know, rolled back, which would make it not exist anymore. Yeah, I know Nyx. I know Nyx because I I know Nyx because of Hades. It's wild that John's only interaction with him is Dirk telling him to leave him alone and then dying question mark in front of him. I did mention that just now, yes. It's so weird being in the same time zone as you and seeing these at a late hour instead of midday. Wait, did you what? Did you like move or something? Is that what that's implying, or are you just saying that my stream time is unconventional for my time zone? is that what you're saying? It mostly is because Luna has a routine around the time that you know, probably would be expected for me to stream. And today, just when she came later, we talked a bunch, and also I tried to fix my mic, and the problem ended up being the fact that Discord just forgot that noise suppression existed, and I had to rejoin the call to actually make the noise suppression work again. I remember when we were confused when Rose's death was ruled as heroic, but I personally never saw the issue. She got a fatal injury while she was being heroic. I guess no, yeah, I definitely understand that now. I think at the time I was just like completely associating heroic deaths with sacrificing the like oneself for someone else specifically, you know. But yeah, she just charged in without really her usual focus in the situation and bap. Yeah. And not reading everything again, but good scene before everything again. And John really, you know, trying to both console and also express that he doesn't know what the hell is happening. Well, that and also knowing that something happened but got here late, like he's saying here. Just the combination of all of that here, good. It is good. It's good. You're in Denmark now? Cool. I'm assuming you're like on vacation or something. That's cool. The scene that actually made you cry? Oh, yeah, I can see why, definitely. To think this Rose ends up becoming just Rose, it hurts. I don't think it ever did for me. Just because. Well, for a bit, yeah, but I guess I got that other explanation from Jane about her, which I guess made sense metatextually, but it just didn't feel that way at the time. Like my first reaction wasn't probably the intended one to her character. I don't know. I don't even know how to judge Just Rose. I probably won't have that much to say about her when she comes up. But here we have Therese completely freaking like stabbed a million times. And just bam. Yeah. God, her taking the initiative here, I think that's so good for her character. Like, that's good. Because we get that mind thing here, right? Because retcon powers themselves are something completely separated from any aspect, I think, right? Like it is literally the comic itself. You have dominion over the comic itself, not like you know the general timeline as you would with just like regular regular time travel as it would be in Homestuck. With retcon powers, you genuinely just can change stuff in the past or that we as readers have seen, right? And so Mind comes probably the closest to, you know, figuring stuff out with retcon powers, considering that Mind is not only about all of the possibilities, right, and seeing all of the possibilities, but also about seeing opportunity in when you don't see what's in front of you. You know, if you don't know what your destiny is, you can just, you know, do whatever you want and hope that it will be still in the alpha timeline. And I like that's something that Therese figures out the plan here, about like related to all of that. That's good, I think. What do you think, Doc? You're the Classpect person. What is with
Hello, Senor Pillow. Welcome to the stream.
What? Hello? I don't know what to say. I'll just read your comment. Hello, Senior Pillow. I don't know anything about Homestuck rather than the character's design, but Therese seems a really cool character for not having eyes, if I remember correctly. I just got into HS. Therese, okay, first of all, we're pretty late into it all. I already read the comic, we're just generally talking about my impressions post me reading it. Therese does have eyes, she's just blind, and yeah, I do really like what they do with that for her character, especially later in the comic. Earlier on, it's mostly just like Daredevil type, sniffing things out, I guess, like being still aware of her surroundings through other senses. But if they do some cool stuff with her blindness later thematically. God, it's so wild to hear that you're getting into Homestuck. That's pretty cool. I remember that one tweet you did of somebody convincing you to draw Lord English, I think. I really liked your rendition of him. That was very cool.
I don't think I've seen
I
that.
hope if
An English by Senior Fellow sounds funny.
yeah, I mean it
But
is
actually,
generally
maybe I
just
have.
good.
Maybe I have seen it, actually.
If you stick around, I hope you don't mind spoilers, because this is pretty late in. Alright. But yeah, this is just my general impressions post everything, so that's why I'm not reading everything in the panels anymore. I'm just recalling things, I guess, which is a little silly, but yeah, that's what we're doing. I'll just get back to my usual commentary.
Everything about Homestuck is silly, so you don't have to excuse this.
Yes, I know. I like this because I always liked the part where, well, the aspect of expressing like Kali's memories and just stuff related to Kali in general in her art style, because while she isn't the only character in Homestuck that draws, obviously we've seen Jade's art and Terezi's art, but that's definitely a bigger part of her, especially with her whole like fan fiction business. So seeing, you know, before the tall house in the part with Roxy's dream, and then this, that's just really cool. Oh yeah. This is when she's actually talking about her brother for the first time. It's kind of weird to think about the fact that before this, like while we as readers were already aware of the entire thing with her brother, it's only at this point that any of the other cast actually finds out about it, you know, properly. Kind of weird. It kind of also goes back to the fact that it's also wild how John doesn't even get to know about any of the other trolls or how they look like besides Karkat until super late. Like whenever well, I guess Friska too if you count the other variation, right? But like in fanworks, you usually think of fanworks as them, you know, all stanced up together. Usually you get these group shots of all of these characters, and you just sort of sometimes forget how for like a vast majority of the comic, John only knew what Karkat looked like and nobody else. Like that's just weird, right?
Yeah.
And I guess you get that here too. If you're
I think this happens especially with John because, you know, he talks of so many people in the comic and then doesn't really see most of them.
yeah.
Until the end. Until the end.
I do think that's actually a pretty fun thing. I always obviously complain about not getting to see something. With the way that everything went, I guess I'm more fine with that and just see that as a funny little thing, because you know you can't really even if you were to stretch some time, you know, give characters more time in universe to do certain things, that kind of arrangement still wouldn't have happened for John. So I guess that's why I'm a little more fine with it, but still. Kali at 11/11. Oh yeah, it was 11/11/2014. Okay, well, this is the point where Kali tries to get to Jade to remember, and after this, whenever Jade actually, you know, tells the story, we get that, you know, we get that entire thing of actually finding out this is not the Jade that we saw get clobbered. Okay. But this. So I remember being also really satisfied with Roxy first mentioning the denizens.
Mm-hmm.
I like the role they play in this part too. Okay, again, probably controversial opinion. I think this entire intermission is like really well paced and really well like put together, considering all of the context of everything else. Like it gets done just enough. It gets done just what it needs to, and a part of that I think is how the denizens here are actually used. Because again, I want more of this, more of this, more of the kids' lands. If I ignore that, because that could have been given us before, Roxy bringing Nyx here up, and then the entire conversation leading up to John also seeing his denizen properly for the first time, and Terezi obviously later on, you know, saying everything related to how he's supposed to fix everything. Like, how the denizens are introduced, like, you know, connected to all of that. That's good, even if we don't actually see Nyx, for instance, because it's like part of a larger thing. So that's why I'm not complaining about that like as much as usual. I don't know what it is about me and this intermission. Like, I just like it a lot. I almost feel like that wouldn't be a very popular opinion, though I don't actually have complete confirmation of that.
I mean, I've always thought it was very engaging and very well structured. I think people probably agree on that, but don't agree on, you know, the underlying
The underlying
like
problem.
what happens.
Yeah, the underlying problem of like what the retcon you know does and what it takes away from the story, from what matters in the story rather. This does give us the pipe organ kind. Yeah, if anything, a lot of people would probably focus on that. Which, fair, pipe organ kind is freaking incredible. I crowed, guys. Roxy's face is so bugs when you lift up a rock, true. Probably gonna go soon, maybe I'll be back, but I doubt it. Have fun, thank you. Oh, right, Senior Pello, just in case you're still here, which would be probably bad because, again, spoilers. If you want to ever like proper read it all, I definitely completely recommend using the unofficial Homestuck collection over the website, especially since it's breaking more recently. Just saying, just in case you're still here. I forgot to say it before.
Even more broken now?
Yes, it's even more broken recently than before. Imagine that.
Oh.
But yeah, all of the...
You know what? I gotta go check that out later. I'm curious.
I don't know what it is about, but Azur has told me it before already. But yeah, just this entire thing, this app is so freaking cool. It retains all of the Flash stuff. It has like extra things you can see. You can check out the music. Not unlike the Bandcamp, there are actually all of the albums here listed, which is good. So yeah, just in case you're still here. Homestuck website is Lost Media. Speaking of that, I do wonder if that has anything to do with the supposed, or I guess rumored, like changes in the entire like agreement with Viz, because Viz has the, you know, distributing rights of Homestuck, right? Or publishing, I don't remember which it is. And that relates obviously to the website, because especially since, you know, it has Viz Media ads on it, you know, banner ads. So thinking about that, I do wonder if it being broken, you know, has anything to do, like it being broken right now has absolutely anything to do with the changes in the conditions. Because James Roach said that before, right? Like in an email, I think, where yes, something changed, but we can't legally speak about what. Like, is that related or not? Like, very confusing right now about what even the reality of that all is. There is a lot of loosey-goosey stuff when it comes to like legality and when it comes to like Homestuck related things. Just thinking about the fact that we can't even know what's going on with What Pumpkin right now. Like, we don't even know who's employed at What Pumpkin. That's also, I think, is still kind of crazy. Here, and don't worry, a friend sent me that side where the Flash animations work. Oh yeah, oh you're right, yeah, because it doesn't Bambosh have like his own like alternate website, where it's like kind of an embed of this application but on the web. Right, I forgot that actually existed.
Oh, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think they're also using it for testing future features of the website. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I'm pretty sure Wizard D. Herbert in its actual state pre Homestuck, pre Team Special Olympics is there. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know now. I have an old version of the app installed anyway, so I might be like speaking out of my arse right now.
Man, you know what would be awesome if the unofficial collection would let you read MSPFAs and make MSPFAs in it too.
No, okay, that second one is probably a stretch. See, because it's a completely separate project. Like the unofficial Homestuck collection is called the unofficial Homestuck collection because it is the unofficial Homestuck collection. While MSPFA, unofficial, sorry, not unofficial, MS Paint Fan Adventures. That website has some form of officiality to it. Even today, I'm pretty sure, right? So I don't know if that kind of collaboration would even happen. Though maybe
It
not
would be
that.
cool though, just
Maybe
saying.
not that far off from possibility though. It definitely would have to connect to the internet way more than it does right now. The only way that the app currently uses the internet is for playing music. Like here,
Yeah.
if you go here, this is a Bandcamp embed, this little player. Though maybe not also out of the possibility, considering what the deal that the Vast Error currently has. So maybe not that far out of possibility too. I think you can mod some in if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you can. Some people have like made separate mods to put at the like concrete specific adventures into the app, which is
Mm-hmm.
funny.
Yeah, that's what I thought they would have done already, but just being able to read MSPFAs would be very cool. Just
Like
generating it.
what also like log in here, leave comments, they like have favorites and stuff. Really, at that point, why not
Yeah.
just use the website? The website is fine as it is.
Because it's everything in one place.
You don't have to have everything in one place. That's the beauty of the internet. You get to have different websites. Okay,
Maybe.
besides that, I do hope that you are not perturbed by the spoilers, Senior Pell. Just saying. We are not ignoring it. We were reading the messages we are answering. I do think it's. I am still very surprised, but yes. Okay. I will try something, right? And this is where she first comes up with the idea, right? And for this Teresia it doesn't work, but then with the entire rollback, right? She thinks up of the code word, right? And it doesn't work for her, but since we are as readers seeing this train of events, then we later see this get retconned, and I like that approach to it all. Sometimes I think the comic a little forgets a little how the retcon powers are supposed to work, especially like a little earlier on when John was using just conventional time travel while using retcon, which kind of makes the difference between them, weird. But here, the whole what being like the thing that is important being here. The flow of things when it comes to the order the reader experiences stuff, and that's how I like retcon being used.
Mm-hmm. I hate to interrupt you, but we have an important question to answer.
Yeah.
Master Wolf TF asks, is Homestuck peak?
Homestuck is not peak when it comes to actually analyzing it, but here's the deal. I really love it because it is such a special piece of media. Whenever you're talking about it in general like this, like we are right now, just kind of picking it apart, it may not seem like we enjoy it all that much, considering how many grievances we have with it. But when you're proper, experiencing it, even on reread, when you're just proper devoted to experiencing it, it is such an interesting experience, especially if you have a friend that's doing it at the same time and you get to talk to them about what you've just read. I had that with Azure, and that gave me so much enjoyment out of it. It's seriously something that is one of a kind, has some really good elements despite its faults. So definitely worth reading, and I think while it may, I struggle to like call it peak, like actually peak fiction. I think my experience with it was peak. So I hope that answers your question.
As someone who doesn't really think very critically about media, more so just enjoys it in the moment, I think it was pretty big, and I
Okay.
still do.
Okay.
Also, thank you, not thank you, sorry. Also, welcome, Rosali.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to the stream. You keep doing your thing. I literally watched a 4 hour video of a guy who talks about a character, and I know about Lord English. Haha. Yeah. Okay. You know what, to be expected probably. I wonder what character it was. Was it Dirk? Was it the one about Dirk? Was it that video? I still have yet to watch that one. I know that that people like it. Also, I didn't actually say hello to Tuna's Captor. Hello, welcome to the stream. We have two Me Tunas in our viewer base right now.
Nice. But I've never seen them in the same room at the same time.
True. Homestuck is a
And thought
sine.
about that.
Homestuck is a sine wave. You know what? Perhaps. It's like that one image of like, oh, it's so over, we're so back. It's so over, we're so back. It's that. Not, I mean, again, not really when you're actually properly like experiencing it bit by bit, but yeah. God, the fact that like, she also has this emotional moment of it not working here, even though we see it work later, you know, because of everything. Oh, and this also paralleling the first image. I remember pointing it out on stream and people being again surprised why I remembered that. Sorry, still a bit sick, a little. Sometimes I have these little coughs and then they don't return for like an hour. Oh yeah. So this is, yeah. God.
Absolutely, to me too, Rosali. It was the first very big and complicated story that I have ever tried to ingest myself.
For me, it wasn't. I do think that my experience would be way different if I read it like a couple years before I actually did. I think if I didn't get into like, what do I put as an example? I mean, there are a couple pieces of media that I definitely credit with changing how I view art in general, but it wasn't that big of a deal considering that I was just still like experiencing that kind of stuff for the first time since I was a kid. But Hollow Knight certainly is something that has a lot of moving parts, and it was one of the first places where I kind of experienced, holy crap, I actually, you know, like when a story is more complicated because before that I was just very simple-minded about a lot of things, like a lot of just like, you know, stories that I experienced. I remember I was a very weirdly cynical kid when it came to metaphor and symbolism and stuff like that. Like, I remember when we were going over The Little Prince in school, like in elementary school, I remember being such a little cynical baby that I was saying like, oh, this doesn't make sense, this is not realistic, shut up! I was that kind of person. That definitely did change later on. I will say that Hollow Knight is probably one of the bigger things that made me change my view on like, oh, I can actually enjoy this. I can actually think about this a little more. And I guess being in the Undertale Deltarune fandom also definitely very much helped. And I think that again, like if I read it for the first time in some like at a time like some maybe 2020, my experience would have been a lot different. I do feel like from that time to when I've actually started reading it, which was 2023, I got a little more analytical. So yeah, not my first time, but definitely something.
I can't think of anything super early that really changed the way I consume the media. The only thing that I can think of that is like that is really Outer Wilds, which was on a more recent side.
No, absolutely. I loved picking apart Outer Wilds. Since John later retcons back in the timeline, this Terezi we are seeing just dies in vain, doesn't she? For me to have more peace of mind, I prefer to think of it as her getting rolled back into a previous state. You just
Mhm.
like instead, you know. I
All
don't.
right, bye bye, Rosalie. Hope you have fun, and see you hopefully on another stream.
It wasn't my taste, but it was one of my favorites. Definitely the main inspiration behind my webcomic. You have a webcomic, not Terra Firma. That's okay. Can you tell us the name? Yeah, I love the little Anna plush on screen. Anna speak. Hell yeah. I don't. This is unrealistic because I don't actually own it. The Fun Gamer plush that I do own is a Hornet plushie. She's right here next to me. So that actually okay. If we switch to this overlay, hold on.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. There we go. There's a little Hornet plushie next to me here on this version of the stream, and that's more realistic. The world building I'm a huge sucker for. I wish I appreciated more enough from my first read. I appreciated it a lot, and I hate how it kind of got sidelined. Again, cue me praising Miststuck and what the walkarounds we get of John's Land. Like, cue me praising those and then wishing we got that for every single land. Little Prince, most peak of all school literature. Ah, I see you're a person of culture yourself.
I've never. They never made me read Little Prince at school. I only know it because of Sky,
Lol.
funnily enough.
That's understand. But you should honestly. It's like it's like a good book. Like I would.
No, it's pretty good. I could probably read it someday.
You could like it's not honestly not that taxing of a thing. Like I know that both neither of us are very much like our readers very much, right? I know that, but it is like a different beast. You can just crack that open and like get through it. Like you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's very charming. Here I gotta go now. I was just passing and was curious because of the title, but y'all seem pretty cool. I'll give a follow. Okay, thank you, Rosalie. Yes, bye bye. Craft, you look small. Yeah, my different, my two like versions of my avatar are completely different sizes, so that just happens. It took 2 reads to really get Homestuck. That's the thing. I've like reread parts of it, like continuously still find new things to talk about with Azure specifically, cause he keeps finding new stuff about it. I really got him into it, huh? But besides that, I wouldn't really say that I get Homestuck. There are, even though I have my thoughts, I have my opinions, I have my feelings of like, oh, this should have been like this should have been like this. I always think that there's definitely a lot of it that I just don't get, right? Like for instance, just like the meta text, right? I know that a lot of people say it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. I don't really see that, so that's why I always like think, okay, so I don't understand everything about it yet, right?
Man, I have read Homestuck 4 times. Well, 3, because the first one I didn't really read too much of it, but I still don't understand nearly as much of it as Kraft does.
I
So,
am flattered.
it's a pretty complicated thing to understand.
Craft, you're a light player at heart after all. I don't think I don't think I was that close to it in the Hive Swap signed personality quiz. I don't think I was. Also,
Hello, Pars.
hello Parsival07. We are talking about Homestuck. Post me reading it all on the channel. You can find that here. We're just talking about it in general after having read it, you know. Not really rereading it, just again, looking through panels, recalling things, seeing if there's anything we can talk about. Yeah. Oh, this is this is our first like view of old Kali. And with
Yeah, true, and it's
conversation
really
here.
cool.
Yeah. I don't remember much of it here. I like that they... Okay, even if, as a concept, alternates have been kind of delegated to the side, right? Like, the personal drama of it has been kind of, you know, ignored for a while there in this in the comic, in the second half of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they made this, you know, just basically a random doomed version of Kali, just like so relevant. I like as a choice, you know? And she looks cool with the hood. She was not human. Oh.
Sad.
Oh, bye, Betty. Craft uses the
Bye
ruins.
bye, Betty.
Craft uses the ruins overlay attack and transforms into his second phase. Smaller Craft, true. Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Old Calliope does absolutely nothing for me. She's supposed to be super important, but she never clicked for me. I keep forgetting she even exists. I don't forget she exists, but I definitely do think that they didn't do as much with her as they could to make her really feel that important. Because I think I'm more attached to the idea of her more than how she is in the comic. That being said, one scene that really works for me when it comes to her is definitely her talk with Jade, like that general scene of her flying with her, you know, here.
Mm-hmm.
This entire conversation that they have leading up to them, you know, on their path to the green sun. That's way faster than the meteors was. I really liked this. Well, you know, mostly because of the really cool world building, right? But I don't know. It did sell me on the character, even like itself, when before I was just like, okay, I like her as a concept. Though
Mm-hmm.
again, a little more of her. I don't know. I don't have that strong feelings on her specifically, to be honest. You can yap if you want, Doc, about her, or why what you think should have been done differently, if you have any ideas like that. But I honestly, that's where my feelings on her really stop. She's just cool in general. I don't know. That's just my.
You know what you have to do? Craft Parts asked, is this a comic? You know what you have to do.
Yes, Homestuck is a webcomic started in 2009 and ended in 2016. It is a really unique piece of media in general and really one of a kind, unless you count that one football thing. It was very revolutionary at the time for how much it uses the format of being on the internet to its advantage, and because of its use of Flash, and through that animations and games as well as GIFs, and really it was the only thing of its kind at the time, because a lot of the really popular, well, not really one of a kind, because obviously webcomics did get really popular, but Homestuck really exceeded any expectations in popularity, mostly to how people could really easily get attached to the characters. So that's one of its real strengths. If you want to read it at some point, know that it is a bit of a time sink, and that the official website is pretty broken and unusable. So if you want to read it, either look up Bambush's site of the comic, like which is kind of like an alternate site that just makes everything work miraculously, or the unofficial Homestuck collection, which that is, I guess, a port of into the web, which I'm using right now. It's a really cool thing that lets you view the comic itself, see a lot of extra stuff from the sides, like news posts and a bunch of like extra material. You can look at the music, you can look at all of the released music. You can see just a bunch of really cool things. It's just a great way to experience the comic, especially since it has a new reader mode that allows you to not get spoiled while looking over certain things, and that definitely helped me, because I really wanted to check out, for example, the music very much when I was still reading, and so things just getting unlocked over time as I went through the comic, was just really useful for me specifically. So yeah, it's a really cool thing. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's not for everybody, but I do think that everybody at least should give it a try. That's my pitch for Homestuck. If you don't want to get spoiled, I'll see you later, I guess. I'm gonna take a look at it then. Yes! Successfully sold.
Hell yeah. You did it.
Also, hello, Zedrix.
Successfully indoctrinated my friend into potentially being a Homestuck. Good job.
Alright, and this is... Oh! Thank you, Sci-Fi-Fanfl, for subbing. Thank you. For some reason, another soul lost. Don't I? Don't, please, listen, I know that it's funny, but we have to, as a community, we have to stop acting like Homestuck is a plague whenever we're trying to, like, actually pitch it to somebody. It is something that can genuinely be enjoyed just like any other piece of media, okay? Like, I know that
If you
it's...
say so.
I know that it's
If you say so.
funny, but it doesn't do us very many, you know, favors when... You know, come on now. Yeah, but this is Old Kali. Okay. I've already said why I have my gripes with this little joke here, with this gag. Because this is a gag like, oh, you want to see this very important thing, but the Jade is like, oh, you don't, you can't right now. I do like that Kali specifically says here, I would love to hear about these guys another time, but yeah.
Yeah.
See, because I wanted to get to know about the consort's adventures on the Golden Ship, right? Or like how they lived day by day, but we didn't get that despite it being such a like a long time in universe in continuity. God, okay, whatever. I don't have to repeat myself. Just I'm mad that this is only a joke and not something that actually gets you know, we get to see at some point. Blah, sad. This gag is foreshadowing for Homestuck 2. Is it? Okay. I wouldn't... No. Oh right, and this is also where she like kind of forgets to have her disguise on. Or cosplay. Well, either way, again, very, very beautiful art. That's true, that again, and we have this like moment again of, despite how wildly off tracks of the regular game they went, they once more focus on the, you know, the very down to the ground stuff, such as John's just in general planet, and you know, you get a lot of hype from that. You get a lot of hype from it being treated seriously again, and the fact that, you know, we get a tease of that with what Rose says before game over, and just not really, you know, that it doesn't really get acted upon. Just frustrates me a bit because I love this stuff so much in the comic. Blah. I wonder how much of a time sink this will be. Some people get it done in like, what, 3 weeks maybe, if they just occasionally get into it. It is 800 to 130 pages. That being said, not all pages take as much time. The thing with this is that some panels are just simply a panel, short narration, and then next, and some are really long conversations. So just page count doesn't really sell how long it will take a certain person to take it. But I recommend taking your time with it if you really do enjoy it. Just give it a chance, allow it to impress you with everything it has to offer. If you end up not liking something, that's completely fine. Just like get through that. Like, just give it that chance, you know. That's all that I have to say. Don't really think of it as like, oh, I gotta get through this. I haven't even started yet. It's more, think of it more as like, oh, I have this many pages left. This means that I have still this much enjoyment, potential enjoyment to have. You know, think of it that way. And I do hope that, because this is pretty big spoilers what we're talking about right now and showing. So hopefully. You'll be off soon, maybe? I don't know. Is that mean? We need a comic where the lizard...
Just really dislikes people getting spoiled.
We need a comic where the lizard/amphibian people have their own session. And then what? And then they would also have their own planets with more lizard amphibian people. Which I don't know why I'm calling them that. They're called not denizens. What am I thinking? Consorts. Yeah.
Consort.
Consorts, of course. What's this comic about? Okay, one last part of the pitch. It is about 4 kids that play a video game together and they end the world and the game saves them from the end of the world. And then they just have to orient themselves in this new confusing reality while they also have to deal with the troubles of, you know, being kids and everybody else being dead. So the comic involves space travel, it involves time travel, it involves multiple universes, inter-universal communication with aliens. It involves some hints of meta-narrative, but that isn't really the main focus of it. And it involves a lot of very, very charming characters that a lot of people get really attached to. And again, worth checking out. That's my last pitch.
And if you like stories that focus on escalation, this is for you.
Oh yeah, and also just I do hope that after this you leave because this is spoilers. I'm sorry, blah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Also, what Terra Firma said. If you don't want the pitch version, if you want to know what the general what the general image of it is, I guess. Type yes. Okay, hell yeah. Ah! I love this man.
All right, bye bye then, Pyres.
Just
Thank you for
getting to
checking
see
in,
that.
and have fun if you check out the comic.
Yes. Getting to see the first one again. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. But I've expressed that enough already before.
Have you though?
Yeah. Like while I was proper reading it.
More.
Just again, the fact that this is all of this is getting treated serious again, and that the issue of his planet is related to these new powers that he has, which obviously is related to the fact that despite these denizens being this very good down to earth like part of the game, they are still important, that they have this like ultimate vision of where these characters, these players go, and their personalities and their struggles and stuff. So obviously, somehow it would be related to John's current predicament, and I like that all of that connects, and I like what all of this does for him.
Yippee!
Yay! And the oil goes everywhere. This in general is super cool too. The actual editing of all the oil getting into everywhere. I think that's super cool. The fact that Jade ends up this Jade, obviously, like Jade ends up knowing about all of this, about retcon stuff in general, and then we don't get like a Jade conversation with John later about this because of how tight time is in that final intermission. That's also such a shame. Like, you ever think about the fact that this Jade proper knows about what John did, unlike every other character that just gets the short like, oh, I saved everybody. I'm not gonna explain all of the details though because we don't have time. Like, Jade actually knows, and we never get like a conversation of her and John about it, which is weird. It feels weird. Yeah. Yes. Finally, they were ready to let the breeze flow, so he could play his song. And we're watching this in full, just because it's so good. Again, our return. That is so satisfying. I was so happy to see this for the first time. I was anticipating the use of this song for so long just because the collection said that it gets used at a certain other point. So yeah. Hell yes. Okay, I wonder if the other John that the retconning then tells go away tries to do this but ends up trying to do all instead. Oh no! I don't like the thought of that. Okay, maybe you should die then.
Yes.
Yes! And those old movies coming back, which fits even harder because this part of the comic has so little like flashes. Hell yeah, man. And then this little thing, that was the same, like, flowing down, and that entire image was from, like, was really used from the time that the alternate John told Frisk about him going to darkness and then getting killed. And everything just being in the wind. And it's expanding, like the wind going out into the rest of the Yes! Just yes, oh my yes. then blew all of the dust out. Which is unhealthy for the cartridge, by the way, but yeah. I love how that ends with that. Honestly, like, such a perfect end to that entire section. Hell yes. Hell yes.
Okay,
Very good.
I'm gonna go make tea.
Okay.
I'll be right back in 5 minutes.
Go ahead, do that. Hello, Megan Ghost, welcome. Would love to see a metal cover of Showtime. Probably exists somewhere. Also, for context, this is a series where we talk about the comic, just reminiscing about it, not really rereading it. It's just going through the panels, seeing what we remember about it. That's what this is. My entire actual first impressions of the comic are on YouTube, though. Pipe organ kind peep time. Goosebumps every single time. Hell yeah. The thing, that thing sure is windy. Oh. And we don't get enough of like exploration of what this even means. The fact that, you know, it's just on a blank, on like a blank background, you know, like the actual sky is just empty for them. Like from their perspective, it's literally nothing. We don't get enough exploration of that. Because that's really cool, and how the implication is that this relates to the void and void in general as an aspect, instead of what we know as, you know, the furthest ring. This is more so more connected to the actual void, to you know, the actual void aspect than the furthest ring, despite that being, you know, literally a void of nothing except some you know, horror terrors. So wish there was more of that, but I guess I'm happy that that gets, you know, that the little hint of the interest is there with what Roxy says. A parcel Pixis. Hell yeah. This stuff is great. And I like how this is also reusing old stuff, like John is literally just going backwards here. This is a staircase that he ascended before. Car. Miss you, AR. Miss you, PM. Well, PM is still alive at this point, obviously, but not really a, you know, present character in most of this entire part of the comic, this entire act. Mostly just not present. I like how this is also using Terezi's map. Yep. And then Roxanne Lalondeth. Hi. Hi. Sup. Good stuff. Elevator stuck with meows. Yeah. 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 This is just a good gag in general. This is a good gag. You know what? I'm playing Elevator Stack with meows in the background right now. Okay. About this volume. As Homestuck have a stroke for a minute. No. So this is where they also catch up. Okay, maybe this is a little bit too unserious. Let me play. Okay, Fantasy P from 1 year later, since we're on that you know, on that right now. This is just where they catch up. Roxy tells him that Nyx told her to Juno if she wants to be still there, then she gets along on the ride. The fact that it's still so, like, strange that these two, you know, going back into, like, the new canon that John creates makes it so, like, the denizens just get rid. Oh, well, not the well, one of the denizens gets rid of John, right? Like that Typheus gets rid of John, but then Roxy just is that Roxy is also just destined to die. So strange, right? I feel. Kind of just like, I don't know. See, I don't know how to feel about that part of it all. But this is a nice moment in general. And I like how all of the fireflies still like retain like going around here, since you know we're in the void and the fireflies actually go out into the borders of the comic. That's really cool. Not much else to say about it though. This is yeah. Honestly, yeah, no, not much to say about this either. Because these characters don't really know much about it too. It does imply, however, that they're like Bros Corp. Well, they do talk about Bros Corps after this. Jade made his body disappear to Boreum, yeah. That did happen. I do wonder what Dave would think about that if he was told that, though. I do wonder. You hated it. Phase. Wow. Sword from the stone. Yoink. Well, anyway. Yeah, so here he just... yeah, goes out. I like the reuse of this, except... yeah, except he disappears. That's good. That's good. It was strange to see the different style, like with the hand not having 5 fingers, for instance. Oh, you know what? This is where we play a different song from the same album, Another Chance. I remember coming back to this flash and actually seeing like the little blue flash here when in this, like that was... the fact that got changed was so interesting. Yikes. Yeah, so he just figures it out. Figures out that he can control it. Yeah, one of your pals. So yeah, here he is. And this is what's weird to me, right? Cause normally this scene would be like, oh, he's actually retroactively changing what happened. No, here somehow it's conventional time travel, like what Dave would do. I don't like this scene because it gets rid of the potential like exclusivity, you know, Redcon powers are this, and then actual time aspect time travel is this. It gets rid of that difference, which is a little strange to me, right? I love Another Chance, but because of the walk stab walk motif in it, I always saw it as a Jack redemption arc song. God, that would be cool though. But specifically for Slick though, because I think of... hold on. I think of Walker, like when I think of... wrong menu. What is... is it here? Yes. Walk, stab, walk, beatdown. Because of this this thumbnail, not thumbnail, track art, I associate it with specifically Spade Slick being Spade Slick, like the one that was with Carcat. So I guess very similar to you, really, except a different Jack. But I know that a lot of people associate this song, Another Chance, with this entire sequence, and I'll respect that, because I think that's a really interesting choice by the fandom. Has he forgot their own rules? I guess that happens. But I wanna think that any Jack could be redeemed if set up right. You're dreaming way too much. Okay, well, I'm joking. Obviously, you can have that dream, but I do feel that if any Jack were to be Spade Slick, deserves it the most. Obviously, like that, I've aired that opinion of mine, just to no end. Yep. Okay. I can't believe how naive I was like a day ago. Interesting that he specifically says that like it was kind of like a day. These we don't really see these people sleep proper. Like obviously John sleeps before this, but at this point he has been like awake for about a day if his assessment is correct. So that's a bit concerning. He doesn't get any sleep. Yeah, my bias is showing again. I just love all Jacks. Some people would make the argument that, oh, if you really love all Jacks, you'd love how villainous they are, which I'm sure you do, but yeah. That would just be interesting too. Well, anyway. Yeah, okay. Here he just figures it out. Oh damn it! I already uh-oh. Accidentally made the app full screen. Okay, there we go. Stupid. Okay, so what was it? Yeah, home. Why did they use this, like, with the outlines here? I don't get it. Well, we can skip past this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, this is also another thing. I don't really have much thoughts on it, though. Because it's a fine conversation on its own. Again, what it leads to is weird. And the fact that it doesn't get acknowledged as something weird by the comic. This convo is fine. I don't really have many feelings on it, though, so I'll just skip. I don't know. I'm just skipping. Yeah. So, should I go? This is literally, this is the part of it all that see, this is exactly why I prefer to think of it as like a rollback, as it didn't really happen. Like, truly and really, it didn't really happen. What's retcon erases just doesn't exist anymore, really. Like, because otherwise you have plenty of these Johns and a fray of other characters that exist somewhere, maybe not in a different timeline as we understand timelines as part of a Genesis Frog universe, you know, or as part of an NCP sphere, and how you can reach different timelines and different timeline selves that are dead or dreaming through bubbles. I just, you know, for the sake of my own mind, for the sake of me, myself being, you know, having calm of mind, I prefer to think of it, okay, it just makes it so it really did not happen. We saw it happen as readers, but it really did not happen. It's an actual rollback. That's like the only thing that makes sense in my mind, because that's the only way that actually, you know, gives me peace of mind. But yeah, Paul already talked about it. We can move on. So here they actually devise the proper plan. The fact that Therese writes all of this in her blood and then passes out, by the way. The green isn't eaten, blah! Neither WV nor Chris Deltarune got to them. Toss. Here. Man. This is the end. God. I don't even know what to say here, just good job, Terezi. Salute. God, you're freaking weird. Oh! Yeah, and more characters joining in. Rollback doesn't really work because of parenthesis Vriska. I think it still works because of that, because I see the dream bubbles not as really a place where you go, but more so a preservation of somebody pre-death. So in this context it would also still be preservation of somebody pre-death, but like pre-also change in continuity. So I don't know, I think it still works for me, even though it is a bit iffy, I guess. Those directions she wrote.
No, I'm back.
Cool boy. Yeah, okay, so I guess this is also where you could start having... Also, hi Luna. This is also where you could start having some of your issues. And they definitely do understand that, right? Like, John, on his big quest, could have done way more to save way more people. Definitely. I definitely think that. But like, obviously, that is limited by Hassie just not wanting that much of the story to be derailed, most likely, that much of the story that's already been done. But like, again, that's the thing. You kind of roll yourself into a corner that even if this was already planned before, you know, you give this character this power, they can literally do anything, right? And I don't know, it's just weird. Because, you know, the implication that he could have done more with the retcon power is there, you know? The implication, but the implication of that is there. Weird, weird, weird. You will never ever get over then you don't need him. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. After Jane here. Wow. Casually approach Crocker, by the way. Wow. This is really cute. I don't really have much to say in retrospect here, though. If you were proper reading all of the dialogue, then I would. But yeah, other than that, just I remember enjoying that. So probably the music should be a little less loud. First key thought is reunion. Okay. See, again, and then this John just like goes away. Like, we don't get to see him actually properly interact with them before, just like a little bit of a recollection. And then, you know, they just go away, and like, how am I supposed to take that? The only way I can have peace of mind is if I have that interpretation of mine, that headcanon of mine about retconning, so... Okay, well this at least is nice in a vacuum. Rose is still in a state, mentally, definitely. Yep. Alright. This, okay, something that I'm thinking here. So if you didn't want, you know, to derail the story, you could have used your retcon powers to get infinite life rings. You really could have done that. Like, disregarding the different Johns that would be left alone, right? You could get infinite life rings and give them out to all of the characters from the alpha timelines that were killed. Like, if you wanted to just get everybody back. That is something that's 100% possible mechanically. And the fact that you know, we're just limited to bringing Vriska back there, it's something. He takes the ring before Aaaaand does, so how does a timeline where Aaaaand never invades the session isn't there? How would that play out? Oh yeah, there is also random times when you do that. Now to ask him how I feel about it. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, this is where it gets bad. Starts to getting bad. I like this though, them properly observing that like another bubble get destroyed. Like, still like reminding you of the context of everything. Framed. Yeah, just regular Terezi shenanigans. We're just blazing through here because I really don't have much to say. You know? I think I've mentioned it before, JG Enigma, like, if you really didn't want to mess with time travel, there is the possibility of just getting infinite life rings with this power. That is like such a like, in my mind, that is such like a weirdly simple solution to everything. It's almost weird that it doesn't get brought up, but yeah. The comics only plot hole, really now? The only one? Yup, of course. Oh. Sniff sniff. Moment. God, yeah. Still very confused about this. Right message on wall. This is a Vriska thing. Right? But like, what do you... This wasn't even like any codependency thing. This wasn't even like any unhealthy thing. Karkat really, even in terms of unhealthy stuff between Karkat and Terezi, it only got that way on the actual meteor itself, and later on was sort of resolved, you know, back in Openbound 2, which again, the fact that that didn't really happen because of how the story was changed, the fact that that got rolled back too is sad because that was really interesting development between those two characters. The fact that this is a solution, again, sad, because Karkat and Terezi have such good chemistry, right? And so, obviously, really cool that that you know, Dave and Karkat got to, from the jump, have more interactions, you know, on this new version of the Meteor story. And Vriska and Terezi, I know a lot of people genuinely like as a pairing, and that's fun, right? That's fine, but like, why sacrifice that for Terezi and Karkat just interacting in general, right? Like, if they really weren't meant for each other in the end, they would have drifted apart naturally, even like with Vriska there. So like, I'm just so confused about why this is the message, you know? Blah. The only one, yeah. Some of these directions are just Terezi pranking him. Yup. My big gripe with Retcon is that in the end it's just Vriska. It's all done to make Vriska alive and repair the ambiguous friendship between Terezi and her, which invalidates the end of Act 5, Act 2. It is... yeah, I mean... Bringing back Vriska alone isn't my gripe. My gripe is this, and my gripe is in general the entire thing with Retcon, you know, removing a lot of the story that we've already seen, you know? So much that we know, like even like not just the actual scenes that we see in intermissions of you know, the Jade and John on the Golden Ship, and the people like the others on the Meteor, and then even stuff like, you know, the little stuff in Openbound 3 that we see in the Openbound 2 when it comes to the Meteor gang, and then Karkat and Openbound 2 specifically, Karkat and Terezi, just. The fact that we just don't, you know, this entire thing gets rid of that, that's just so annoying to think about. Blah. Blah, blah, blah. This is right after Karkat sent her a heart. Yup, it's like, why even? I'm very confused. If anything, I'm just most confused about why, you know? Why? Okay, John. And the thing is, I really feel like both things and both like what we've already done here and the stuff that happens post Retcon could be done without so much of the story being diverted. I really think so. So I'm just blah blah blah, you know, blah blah blah. Not a fan. I love the spoon and fork horns; they're great.
Blah blah blah.
This is John, by the way. Terezi doesn't know you yet at this point. What do you mean? He's just being silly. Shut up. Though it could mess things up. I guess it didn't in the end, but it could mess things up considering that Terezi is one of the main trolls that actually mess with John, you know? Anyway, forgot what they're talking about here, but we don't have time to actually... Okay, now this is what they're talking about here. Right, so we get this, and then Jane actually gives the context of these things happen, and then yeah, so the battle happened. Okay, so here is something interesting. Okay. This, yes, the Roxy dies just because Destiny or another Alpha Roxy comes into the picture, so this one just gets rid of. Sucks. I don't like this very much. It's what happens. I don't know. This is nice though. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that entire part. I'll see. Hold on, chat. Jade's spoon and fork horns are pretty funny, I gotta admit. Terezi sees John for the first time. Are you the guy who gave me relationship advice? Timeline gets freaked up. Okay, here they explain that Condi didn't know Vriska was on the Meteor too, which why not? Why wouldn't she? I don't know. I think it's in a different scene actually, where they actually tease Vriska being back. Pat pat. This is a good part of it. This is just a good scene to add in, you know? And Serenity being there. And Jasper's right. Jasper Sprite. Yes. Hell yes. Yeah, point still stands? Okay, yeah. Oh man, can lose a sprite. In retrospect, again, shame we didn't get more of them. The fact that Hivebent went by so quickly, just so you know the readers at the time could get back to the characters they know. That's a shame. Probably would have been better if there was like more flip-flopping and like we got more backstory here, more of the current events here, more backstory here, more current events here when it comes to the trolls. Because like, it's very much a shame that we didn't get to see all that much of their actual session. I crowed a little from that. I don't think it's as simple as that, Doc, but I don't know if I'm the right person to really explain that, though. I remember reading a Tumblr post about it, where they did say that it doesn't really frame it as Vriska being the absolute ultimate savior, especially since it shows that she has a lot of her same demeanor, but I guess hanging out with Terezi calms her down a little, I guess. Which, still, the difference in behavior is absolutely apparent with Vriska and Vriska in parentheses, obviously. But, I don't know, I remember reading about it, but I don't think I'm the right person to really make that argument myself. I don't know. So, I probably won't end up being that, like, probably won't end up doing that. Like, actually commenting on it. So I'm going to keep going back to my frickin'... Oh. Oh, I'm... this is supposed to be an R. And now. Okay, there we go. God, the frickin' shore. Oh, yes. With frickin' yes. With Nepeta. I wonder which troll this was. This is such a sad comment, like, oh my god, he really didn't know to get to know them at all. Oh my god. Okay, well... It was Gams, you idiot. Okay, well, this is, I guess this is an actual good change, at least. Honestly, feels like a risk project was given carte blanche on the story. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that is necessarily the case, considering how much of her faults still get like underlined, especially like in the interaction with parentheses Vriska. But like, the fact that we get this also, but like no actual like why did that even happen? Why did that Terezi like that doesn't even make sense for that Terezi to like want that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to comment on it anymore. I've already said everything that I actually think. Get this back. I like how he goes back into his actual sprite that we saw in that one flash. God. At least this is funny. Okay. And she just sees him, and that's everything that happens here. Yep. My lord. My problem with Homestuck is that the chess people never did en passant. I don't think, okay, I'm assuming that's a French phrase, I don't know what that means, I'm gonna look it up. En passant. Describes the capture of a pawn of an enemy pawn on the same rank and an adjacent file that has just made an initial 2-square advancement. Advance. This is a special case in the rules of chess. Okay. Sure. I don't know what that means because I don't know chess. Sorry. I guess John's journey having barely any changes beyond what was needed for the plot makes sense because this isn't time travel but retconning. I just remembered that now. I guess. I can't believe it. Craft. Has that been something that you wanted me to Google for a while? I don't remember that it being used at all before in the chat. But my memory towards specific messages is pretty bad, so. All right. Nothing happens here. Okay. Oh right, yes, this is the actual scene. This is where they actually tease the existence of Riska. Okay, so here is when I tell you the funny. Here is where I tell you the funny thing. So when I initially got, huh? What?
What's funny do you have to say? Let's hear it.
So when I initially got to this part, when they were talking about like this is the difference here was that there was a character that was able to make like that difference and stuff like that. They were describing them. Because I was already spoiled on them, I assumed this was Dave Peta, not Vriska. And I was really, and if you go back to that stream, I think you can catch me saying, oh, I think I know who this is. And no, I didn't. I legitimately thought that this was Dave Peta who helped on the riot.
I remember that. I remember you saying that, yeah.
Yeah, to you in DMs later, not on the stream itself. Okay, I'm done with that now. But again, okay, the fact that this is interesting though, because this is still mind controlled, right, Jane? But I guess because Roxy was still useful to the Countess's plan, she still would like even mind controlled Jane would want to revive Roxy, which is interesting. The fact that she didn't though, like she could still be revived, right? The fact that they never do, still has that extra life in that last intermission. Like, yes, this is another Roxy, but this is still like a living person that is physically there in the same like solar system as y'all are, the Skyan system in CP Sphere. So like, why not use that revive? You know, you let 2 Nana sprites exist. This just the fact that they just end up not using that revive on this Roxy just does not make sense to me. You know. Sigh. How ironic and depressing it is that John is now doing what Dave Sprite abandoned his reality to stop him from doing, blindly following what Terezi told him to do. That's really funny, actually. I don't know if there is any other conclusion I have from that other than it being funny. I'm sorry. Google en passant is a joke in chess community. Okay, I see. Interesting. Honestly, as much as I dislike Dave Peta, that would have been so much better instead of Risk. You think so? Okay. God, it feels so weird to have a person that just openly says I dislike Dave Peta when I'm such a big fan of the character. I get it though, I get your reasoning. I 100% get your reasoning. Don't get me wrong. You thought Beck was initially Karkat? That was my favorite mistaken identity moment. Wait, really? What? Can you explain that, T-Sod? Also, hello. Can you re-explain that? I don't remember that at all. Also, Roxy troll. All right. Flip. Back to talk. Okay. It would have been extremely funny to see a retconned Doc Scratch see this scene and be like, what the actual hell is happening on my screen right now? It would be really, really funny. big missed opportunity there. Absolutely big missed opportunity there. Because like I feel this sort of thing would be the thing that would, you know, avoid his omniscience, I guess. Oh, you thought, not you. Okay, autocorrect. I see. That's how. Okay, interesting. I say dislike to not say I outright hate them. Sorry. Oh, I mean it's okay. I probably like exaggerated that in my own brain. Sorry about that then. In the bracket part, the whole point of the scene with the coin flip was about Vriska's arrogance. She thought she could cheat and get away with it because Terezi couldn't kill her, but then she did, and Vriska died from her hubris after doing whatever she wants to with no consequences. Then Vriska gets punched and it's all good anyway. What? Yeah, definitely thematically really weird. Like, as again, when I was reading this for the first time, I didn't mind these things as much since I was experiencing them at all, and the fact that the pacing was for once this good definitely made it so I felt way less like weird about it. I definitely do way more now. The fact that, at least especially the fact that it is in this it is this scene that gets changed, and this is where Vriska gets to live, you know, because of that thematic tie. I absolutely understand that, and I thought about it before too. I think it's just the reason why I don't think about that as much, like personally, why I don't still have like a massive gripe with it, is generally because I enjoy this entire segment of the comic, but it being like a very weird thing to do, especially considering that you know, the themes of the scene here at hand, that is absolutely understandable. I wish Ice was here. She once mentioned a plot hole involving the handmaid. Right, yeah, with the red stuff. I remember her mentioning that too, but I don't remember if she ever elaborated on that. You're completely correct, yeah. Also, hello, generic client. Hello. I agree. Scratch would have been like, huh? Hello, welcome to the stream. Okay, but the fact that he just goes beyond no Terezi, don't do it, and actually just punching Vriska, I think that's at least funny, I think. Pow! Again, at this point we just sort of have to ignore the fact that this messes up, you know, the actual meaning of what's happening here. Which, I guess, I mean, derailing in general is kind of the point of this entire thing, right? Like, when you think of a retcon, like, if you think of a major retcon, your immediate, like, in any media, right? In any media, your immediate thought isn't that, oh, it was a positive change. Your immediate thought would probably be that, oh, they wrote themselves into a corner, they had to actually retcon, or this was a problematic thing in the past, they had to, like, there is always some kind of negative connotation with like the word retcon, whether it was actually changing something that was bad in the past for the better, or you know, changing something for the worse. Like, there's that association there immediately, right? So I feel like just in general derailing the story like this is sort of on theme when it comes to the retconning itself, but it is sort of weirdly disrespectful to the actual scene at hand here. So I get that, but I guess that's all that all that my feelings are on it. Is just that, yeah, I agree, but I don't feel all that strongly about it, you know? But I absolutely understand people that do. Because we have to remember that this is, you know, retconning is a thing that exists outside of Homestuck, and there is probably something here that they're trying to, you know, connect to what actual retcons are like, you know? And that was my thought about it, at least. And I guess I appreciate that to some extent, which is also another thing. I don't know. Again, I understand all of y'all's grievances. But this scene of them just in general suddenly having a casual moment, suddenly getting to talk normally, I think that's still really funny. I think that's still especially when you think about the fact that if, you know, for instance, Cascade were to play out with the retcon changes like there in mind, then this would be happening like right before the very dramatic scene where Solox really redirects the meteor to go towards the green sun, you know, since it got into sight. I think that like the thought of that is very funny. Also, yeah, Karat doing the crab pose, hell yeah. Okay. Let's just move on from this. Hi, Solux, my beautiful king! And my beautiful queen, Kanaya also. It's more so Solux, because he doesn't really get used by the story. Thank you for that, thank you. I needed that.
Shenanigans.
I needed that, with those emotes, with those emojis.
Yeah, yeah.
You think it's also funny how Vriska just finished having a heart-to-heart with John and then suddenly he's just there and punches her? Yeah, that too, because she was doing that on that computer. And we're back in the void. Alright. And everything goes along with them.
And away we go.
I like the visual of this so much still. God.
Mm-hmm.
Pausing the music. Oh, this is horse. This is horse music again. I remember now. Remember what? This reveal is cool. Well, this entire sequence more so. I know that, you know, obviously plenty of y'all will have a problem with the fact that Vriska is there. But I like the lead up to it. I like the vibes. I like the how the entire twist with both Jane and Jade, that Jane and Jade being post retcon. I like that because we've been seeing them two since before even Game Over, and I think that's really interesting. Well, not them two, but Jade definitely. I think that's really interesting. Colorful description, yeah.
Wrong about what, Jade?
Sorry, I'm not reading, yeah.
We were never dead at all.
Wow. Holy crap, Hope's a
We've been
character.
asleep!
Wow! Hope's a character with 5 fingers again for once. And we get the end
story.
the end of the intermission.
The end of the internet.
The end of the.
Can you imagine how wild a last day of the internet would be?
Random thought, but I guess I would be in complete shambles, honestly. Alright. We're done with that entire sequence.
Yeah.
Caliborn's masterpiece, one last good thing before everything reaches rock bottom. I'm assuming you mean the Vriskagram Flash. It itself I have not much of an issue with. I know that a lot of people really dislike it, especially especially Azur. He has definitely told me plenty about how he dislikes Vriskagram. I think it's fine. The actual moment of Vriska, you know, staying alive, that is where I think it's weird. I don't have that too many strong feelings about Vriskagram. I don't know. I just don't have it in me. I just don't have it in me. But that's just me. To give you an idea of how much I hate it, I literally cannot listen to Moonset. Oh my god, that is so drastic. Oh my god. What? I definitely know that a lot of people don't even associate Moonsetter with Vriskagram. I know that. Like, way more people just, like, associate it with only, like, the track art of it, which is Dirk. I don't know if that is because of Vriskagram's existence, or just unrelated. But yeah. I like Moonsetters too. That's very sad. That's such a drastic thing. Oh my god, I'm really surprised. I guess I understand, but wow. Oh boy. I can't even turn down the volume. I forgot about that. Wow.
Song.
Why did the scene? Why was the scene even there for that the dream? I don't get it.
Speak song time.
Caliborn, my lord, save us. Wow.
Scary.
I can recognize, like, there was an attempt. I know what this is supposed to be, but my god. Wow. Okay. Ah, so nice of you to join me. Very slight music. Very low music here in the corner. I don't think I ever realized this, actually, when I was playing it. When I was reading it. Hello, Topat Stick. Peak Homestuck. I still think it's so confusing. Okay, can you guys explain to me how all of this even works? Oh yeah, there is freaking mouth sound effects in this part too, and I completely forgot about that. Just talking about, like, why. Well, this is just fine, but when here it goes. Okay. Not him being sucked into cow. That's fine. That's just fine enough. I'm talking about the kids, you know, arriving. That is the weird part to me. Because I still don't understand it. Like, are they just from an alternate timeline, or is it implied to happen at some point somehow post canon? I'm still rereading Homestuck, but the page I was on got an error. If you're using the website, I'm assuming you would, because I have heard some things. The kids arrive with John's retcon's power. He brings them there. I know that. Oh, little Bao. This would be so cute if he wasn't, like, somebody intent on absolutely murdering every single person he ever knows ever. I like the detail of the Vine logo in the top right corner of the panels. I'm pretty sure these were hosted on Vine at some point, I think. As Caliborn puts it, this happens after everything. This really is the very end. Put your juju there. Clockwork lasers. How do you get those? And what are they like related to? How does that even work? Can anybody get clockwork lasers? Can you please explain at some point? No? So what do you mean by the very, very end? Like, does that imply also after Homestuck Beyond Canon? Is that what that implies? Because Caliborn grew up on Earthsea after all of civilization ended. Which is so much later on. Yeah. Even all of the civilization that they paved the way for. That the kids paved the way for. Yeah. I like how those effects were... I like how that effect is like, you know, with the jaggedy lines. I don't know, because I don't acknowledge Beyond Canon at all, so probably. Okay, I see. See, that's the weird part of it, because I know that, because I've thought of that before, right? Like, oh, the implication is that at some point these are the kids that ended up living on Earthsea, right? But like, then how does that work with the fact that stuff that is post-canon, like the epilogues and Homestuck Beyond Canon, how does that work with those being supposedly of dubious canonicity? How does that work? I don't know. If you were to draw a chronology of everything that happens in Homestuck in chronological order, somehow this would be the last event of the kids coming over here. Yes. They are doing this, yeah. I have not read Beyond Canon, nor do I plan to. I plan to. I know that there is plenty to enjoy there still, so I absolutely plan to. But I understand. It would be cool if you did at some point, though. Like, again, I will be only talking about the epilogues on the channel, but Beyond Canon, I'm still truly considering just reading it regularly. It's the dubious canon thing I only see as a reason to completely ignore it, which is fair. I know that a lot of people do. But I'm personally interested in it, not because I will treat it as absolutely like, oh, I will consider all of this whenever I'm talking about the actual, like, you know, the actual comic Homestuck, but I mean, I'll give it a chance. I know there is, like, even before the takeover of the new team, I know that there are things that people just found genuinely interesting there, and I'm curious about what that is. Okay, well, I haven't read it. Azur has, and he has relayed some of his experiences to me. He says that he said basically that he didn't enjoy much of Candy. There were some interesting things, but it was basically a lot of things also ruin it, and that Meat is basically super cool and good to him. Like, he actually genuinely really enjoys Meat. That's, well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but he did say that Meat was like miles better. So
yeah, no, I remember him saying he enjoyed Meat.
I read one of the epilogues, heard about the content of the other, and that was honestly my cue to not touch anything that comes after the actual ending. Yeah, I recognize that. I know that there are things like that were really weird. And I don't know who's responsible. I don't exactly care, because I know that is impossible to know exactly, especially with how rough crediting people gets when it comes to Homestuck. I'll look at it, I'll express my feelings. I know that the epilogues when it comes to actual content are worse than Beyond Canon, so that's why, you know, I'm not gonna be reading them on stream. I'm just gonna be talking about them post the actual event. And yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Anyway, let's move on here. How beautiful. He is such a beautiful gentleman. Yeah. I mean, you see, I understand this at least, right? Like, I get what is happening here. And then the juju just changes its purpose, its use. That I understand. It was just the, like, are those alternate versions? Okay, I guess not. Which also is really weird to me. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know how to even comment here. We're just moving on. They have a big fight. Yup. Obviously, Caliborn wins, and then Jake does a Hopi thing. Oh, right, yeah. They had a proper duel. That's very cool to hear about, honestly. I wonder if anybody's like done like a more detailed rendition of these events, like in their own way, because obviously this is peak, but it would be cool to see it in like the actual format of the comic, you know. Well, anyway, let's just go forward. Blinding, beautiful, even. Oh, watch your words. You're almost complimenting him. I love the sound effects here. And the hope field is how Jake deals LE his first defeat. Remember when Aaaaand told him that? I actually don't remember, but that is something that probably happened. I get dunked as frick. That's something that Azure would say. Strider regroups from his trouncing. I like how the Cotton is still left there. And because of that, Caliborn grows some respect for him and takes his name, which is a really cool time loop of Jake being named after Ellie and but LE being named after Jake. Yeah, I always liked that too. How did this even, like... Whatever, man. Oh, right, they were... Okay, so they were just straight up built by Arqueus, right, okay. Never mind. Just, like, okay then. Like, okay, man. Him using the hard powers for this, though. Oh, really, this is really interesting. I always liked what this... I know that some people have some issue with what this implies about Bro Strider, how it sort of like disables his entire like responsibility of like, oh, before it kind of felt like, oh, he was just like a person that wasn't fit to be a parent and just absolutely messed up on his own accord. I know that some people like basically, oh, if Caliborn was all that was like in there whispering to him, right? That kind of defeats the thing. I don't think necessarily it does, especially since we never get like the implication that absolutely that you know, like Lil Cal ever whispers concrete things. It always felt like it was like a way like more subtle influence. I don't know. I've never really minded this as a thing. It always, to me, it always fit somehow. Like it didn't undermine the more down to earth vibe of everything being set up about the kids and their lives back in the early acts. I don't know. I don't know that some people don't like it, but though. How ironic, Caliborn loses again in the proximity of some horses. He couldn't destroy the souls, so he just stored them into Lil Cal. Then Roxy banishes Lil Cal into the void. Well, I know that. And then Gamzee conjures it back into Dave's dream room, and the rest is history. Yup. That still makes sense. That still makes sense. That does imply that just Cal inherently has some kind of like quality of being indestructible, because like how many loops of the just being like this would make it so that would like very quickly he would just completely deteriorate, right, even after being fixed by Kanaya. So just thinking about that is a little silly. Fully understanding Cal's entire timeline is when I realized I was fully and completely brain rotted by the Homestuck. True. I think at this point I actually very much crowded in there, blah, 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 blah. They'll get the drunkard sorceress of void to banish the puppet once and for all into the darkness, never to be found again by the probing hands of meat. So when they said darkness here, I did completely assume that they meant the third, just somewhere around in the furthest ring. But honestly, now that you've mentioned it, maybe it is her really like putting it in the void as we understand the void by where you know John's planet goes, you know? Like what if it is in that sense? I think that makes way more sense for what Roxy would be capable of with her powers. What if Arqueus is also in Lil Cal, then where is he? He is though, but that's the thing. Like Caliborn is the dominant person within Lil Cal, and then when all of them like get mushed up into Lord English, Caliborn is still like the major player, but they are still the rest are still somewhere in there. That's kind of the thing. Yes, never to be found. But not never to resurface, oh no. And time to get ripped, of course. Alright. Hold on, actually, let me see something really quick. Let me go into my YouTube, because I've been realizing recently, I've had some freaking in the past I've been content ID'd way more than I realized, just because I didn't get any emails about it. So I'm gonna go quickly see now if the episode where we played this ever got content ID'd. I really wonder now. Huh?
Just okay. What does it mean exactly again to be content I need?
Just that the algorithm, like YouTube's algorithm, like recognizes a song that exists within like you know the music distributors that keep track of songs so that they can demonetize videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let me. Okay, let's see. I'm here. I'm with it. No. Statistics? No. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Hello Zep did get recognized by Content ID. Says it doesn't influence the video, but that's also probably just because I'm not monetized. So I'll just, you know what, just for the sake of the future, I'm gonna mute it. We're just gonna watch it without it, the music. Actually, hold on. With English in the background. It won't match up completely, but sure. God. And here is peak. Let me skip a little. No, that AR is not at all related, unfortunately. Besides this scene. I hate how much this makes sense now. Yeah, for once, like a lot of like explaining stable time loops and stuff has definitely gotten way less of a focus later in the comic. But the fact that this all gets recalled and still like is relevant, I think that's beautiful. This Flash is truly beautiful. Yeah, somebody once said that AR equals AR was a legitimate theory people had in the day. God. Yeah. That's why I always try to remember to call Arqueus Halqueus, because like it actually uses Hal's proper name that he chose, you know? Technically, if you think about it, AR is kind of his dead name. It kind of is. Yeah. This is us. Going into insanity. That actually was timed pretty well, the music.
Yeah, that was funny.
You don't hear the music though.
I remember how it goes perfectly.
Okay. Land of Stumps and Misery. I love how that's like a straight up callback to the rest of the MS Paint Adventures, like both Jailbreak like a bit and well, both Jailbreak and Problem Sleuth. It all makes sense now, the timeline, yeah. I'm assuming that's a reference to Pit People, the ending of Pit People, which you're saying there. And it all makes sense now. Somebody should make an... oh, there it is, okay. And somebody should make an edit of this flash, but with that song from the end of Pit People. That would be really funny, I think. And Human Uncle is also technically correct. Stop, no! God, no. That's horrible. That is horrible. Okay. Well, Moonsetter momento.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I understand the issues with this. I like it because the art is nice. And it gets like, you know, there is acknowledgement of characters that didn't get much focus once more. Just getting to see the, you know, that a redraw of all the, you know, this stuff, that alone I appreciate. And this panel, you know, this is disrespect though. He is, he should be just as tall as them too. WV should be just as tall. He is not shorter. I don't think I know what you're referencing there, maladaptive daydreamer. Not sure. I wouldn't mind Dresden coming back if it was meaningful, but she's just really there to be the Deus Ex Machina to fix Rose's alcoholism, put Jane to sleep with her convenient powers, etc. I think there is meaning you could derive from there. I'm not that too good enough at character analysis to do that, but I'm sure that there is somebody there that did so. Like, I don't want to strike the possibility completely because there are things that some people just get from Homestuck that I don't, but I want to respect that, you know. So this is nice. I don't know, just this is cool though. I don't know. I don't really know what to think exactly. Because I'm sure that there would be some people that would be able to have their own analysis, have their own interpretation, have derive some meaning from it. So I don't want to strike it that much. But you know, if you have your own feelings on it, I'm not gonna bash that either. That's fine. And look, this is where Dave cut starts, basically off screen that you are meant to accept it. I don't think that that is too much of an issue, especially since they already they already have been showcased to have chemistry. The thing was that Karkat kind of set himself up for failure early on the Meteor journey. And this is just you know, an expansion of that. So basically, Terezi gets to hang out with Vriska more. Dave gets to hang out with Karkat more. Like that you know, the conflict there with where the penis Ouija happened. That isn't there anymore, so to me it makes sense. And I like them as like being together. I don't mind that at all. I understand if you were to be like, you know, make the point of doesn't feel natural to me, completely understandable. But yeah, I think that's fine. Especially since I just like Dave Cat. Okay, let me read the chat the things in the chat that we've missed.
Yeah, okay.
Listen says, and also just the immediate assuming that everything we saw previously plays out exactly as it did, but with risk around. Oh wait, hold on. I wouldn't mind okay, I see. Again, I get it, but somehow I don't have it in me to be that to like have that much of a like too big of a complaint about. Is that even a sentence? Too big of a complaint? What the hell did I just say? You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Reads your name for the MSPFA reader. MSPA reader. Oh, okay. We see the same interactions with the ghosts, but that would mean there is another Mina now, and also an Arana is nowhere to be seen. For me, it is okay. That part I definitely understand. I think that should have been more explained, especially to people that actually care about the characters, about those you know, characters that wouldn't be considered main characters, I guess. Well, how that all works. It's definitely way like very loosey goosey with the ghosts and how they work pre-retcon, post-retcon. To me, I feel this would just make Arana come back. Yes, they had chemistry, but not nearly enough of them to become lovers. I wanted to see it actually develop. I will definitely agree with you that there we should have seen more of those scenes. This is definitely way more of a fast forward, but I don't know. I think this is enough of an implication for me, at least for me. But maybe that's also just because I'm attached to the idea of the ship. I was already attached to the idea of the ship of Dave Cat, you know, even before. Even though I also really very much like Terezi. Oh wow, YouTube gave me a notification. Shadok is premiering Love Web's episode on Wikipedia. I'm gonna have to watch that later. That's awesome. Yeah, that's risk I'm done with. Okay, let's just go forward. What kind of music do we play? Maybe this one, actually, Unlabeled from 1 year older. Eric Sheele. I like it. I like October more for this. Okay, October from 1 year older. Also Eric Sheele. Eric Sheele made the whole album, so yeah. Okay. So we get these people here all together. Man, so we are right now in the final stretch. Once again. Sorry, oops, accidentally changes the size of the window. We are in the final.
Yeah, we have reached the end game.
We have reached the end game a second time. All that is left is, well, all of this, right? Man. I'm a little tired now, but I think I will go through some of it. Like I said before, I definitely appreciate that there is as much of this as there is of it, but there could have been way more interactions here. the fact that so many times the comic throws a curveball at the reader, and oh, this doesn't actually happen because this gets like everybody distracted, this threat gets everybody distracted, and you don't actually get to see them have any moment of you know, peace. And then when there are moments of peace, like the meteor trip or the golden ship trip, we don't get to see enough of that either. So blah, that sucks. That just sucks. So would have appreciated way more like unique pairings for interactions here still, just making it longer, but it is what it is. What there is of this entire part, I think, is very much satisfactory, especially in this final lead up to the battle to the battles of Collide, when the art starts changing. I don't know, everything about that. I like what it does, but I just keep reminding of myself that there, like, you know, there isn't a Rose and Dirk interaction. There isn't a proper Dirk and Jake, you know, our guest talking about, hey, everything that happened just now, let's you know, let's both try to, like, you know, move past, blah blah blah, be better for the both of each other, just stuff like that. Like, we don't get that kind of stuff, which I would have expected. So, again, would have been more, blah blah blah. So many conversations here. I won't actually get to properly like reminisce about this, because there are so many conversations here that I just don't remember how exactly they went, because they are so long and there's so much of them. Maybe I should just in general talk about the parents here. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, we will still be ending fairly soon. But before that, I probably still can go for a little bit longer. So I'll go for a sec, grab a cup of water, and then return. Okay?
Alrighty. Hello, BRB Craft. Welcome. Liking the Dave Dirk one is, well, I don't know what to tell you if you don't like that one. I personally, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm not very good at being critical of Homestuck, especially, but it is my favorite conversation in the whole comics. I really like the Dave Dirk discussion. Doc, you are very critical today, huh? You just don't like anything. Nah, I'm kidding. I know it's a very controversial ending part. I like a lot of parts about it, though. But again, not very critical. Most people here are the critical kind. Most people that stuck around for the discussion. Okay, bye-bye, Cedrix. Honestly, I think reading it in real time would make people less annoyed at it. for the most part. That's what I think myself. But we can know for sure unless we would have been there. So I'm having a sepia water myself. Oh yeah, definitely. Yesterday we went through a whole 800 pages, but today we still got through, well, 500 so far, and there's still a few to go through today. So it's looking pretty plausible to end this mini series on the next episode. If you go to the last stream, Tizot, I actually commented with stats on the whole series. Hang on. Let me go check on that. And here it is. She still hasn't made a custom thumbnail for the last episode. I think we should beat her to death. Yep. 277 hours of reading Homestuck. That's what this series was. More specifically, my stats were 94 episodes, 277 hours, 16,651 minutes, and for a total of 66,887 views. Yeah, Craft is a pretty fun person to listen to. Damn. That's... yeah. That's gonna be... you're gonna have a whole hard drive of Craft streams. That's gonna be funny. What's this? Yeah, makes sense. The long form content I actually prefer listening to the most is Pyrocynicals. I quite like how he talks about stuff. Yeah, we're probably still doing that talk. I remind her about it every once in a while. My favorite character is, well, it's probably Roxy. It's probably Roxy, yeah. I still have difficulty just deciding on who it is for sure, but I think it's Roxy. Based on looks alone, though, it'll be either Nepeta or Mulin. But if we're talking the whole character-wise, it's probably Roxy. Or Jade, yeah. I voiced them for a reason, you know? I honestly wasn't expecting Craft to let me voice, well, quite a few characters in the end. She really likes voicing her characters.
Hello. Gosh, hi.
Hello!
My throat. Okay. Hi, what are we talking about?
We were talking about my favorite character.
Jed.
Or Roxy.
Or Rox. Rox.
And also me
Rocks
being
on the ground.
surprised still now, as I was before, that you let me voice so many characters.
Well, like 2.
4!
Really? 4?
Jade, Nepeta, Mulin, and Roxy.
Oh, right, I forgot. Okay. Yeah, true. Let me hold on. Let me scroll up here. The rest isn't? Wow, that is very critical, Doc. Didn't realize you felt this strongly about it all. I guess it is like, I guess we like, because the fact that you are so often on stream now, it kind of like made me think, oh, of course she's been here for like forever. But no, you really did like only start commenting after we were already done with the comic, right? Huh? So only now am I seeing like your proper opinion on this part, because you weren't there originally. Damn. I'm I'm a bit surprised, honestly, but it's fine. I mean, it's just somebody else's opinion. I'm just saying. Also forgot to mention, oh, isn't this? It was a narratively satisfying ending for the relevant stealing character to end up in the most irrelevant place on a quest to regain relevance and fail, and then retcon Sai. Okay, yeah, I get that. You sometimes listen to it at work. Listen to what at work? Oh, wait. That was something. What was Tisa talking about here? Do you remember now, Luna? Or talking about listening to it at work?
Alright, I was muted. About your streams.
Oh,
They were talking about your
mine.
streams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to hear. I'm definitely, in retrospect, very not proud of everything that I've done. Like, I sometimes remember specific things that I've said in the moment and I cringe. Like, I've cringed about several things about just yesterday's stream, just because of how weird of a mood I was in that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely regret things in general. Oh right, I think
But that's
Craft
okay,
mentioned to
that's
do the
normal.
character tier list after Hype Soup and everything else. Yes, I did mention that I will do the character tier list about, like, after that, yes. Was your favorite character? Okay, then that was answered. Did they draw your favorite weeks ago where I drew my favorite? I should do that, where you do the thing with, like, different categories of characters in Homestuck. I should definitely do that at some point. I've been, like, just drawing on with my tablet in general, like, way less recently. It's honestly pretty fitting how right after Aaaaand dies, it goes into my least favorite part of the comic. Oh my god. The ancestors grew on you? I see. I found them interesting right away. As in not affects, but like, just in general, saying that. Okay, let's get back to this. So, the combinations of characters that we have here are plentiful. Obviously, like, here they intermingle a bit, but later on we really do, like, just limit it to specific pairings, right? Like, specific trios. Obviously, Dave gets to talk to Rose and Kanaya and stuff like that, but it is mostly just, like, Dave and Karkat sitting together, Kanaya and Rose sitting together, and the Terezi and Vriska sitting together, and then Jake and Tavros Sprite, which, by the way, still, I have so many weird feelings about how this in general goes. Like, it's realistic because, like, yeah, that Tavros wouldn't have that many, like, that much very good advice to say, specifically because of how Vriska has treated him in the past, and he has just learned the wrong lessons basically about confidence and such. And I just, is this just meant to be one big joke at this point? Is Jake even being treated seriously as a character at this point at all, in any, like, sense of the word, in any like capacity? I don't understand what's happening here, like, what the point of how specifically the interactions between these two went, because I was just tired and hoping for a better future for Jakey boy, but we never got that. So blah. Okay. I don't remember, again, don't remember everything they talked about. The fact that they intermingle here, they have longer conversations here, that's awesome. I'm not gonna go through all of them. Just by again, talking about general feelings, and I don't remember exactly about absolutely everything what they talk about here. I mean, pretty soon they got to start getting into the whole plan bit, right? Like, after they get their first conversations off, like, done with. Yeah, here are John and Roxy. They kind of explain how things happened, like, a little, but, like, not that much. The fact that this happens, though, like, oh, you know, Rose and Roxy get to actually interact, that's nice, but there are so many, like, different character pairings that are just missing, and it's a shame. That too, Doc. About pages. There's also the part where, because you give up and time for a lot of prosperity and Rose. It is. You do kind of see Rose as kind of a different character just because of how she's drawn a lot like this, you know, without her usual smugness. I don't think necessarily that comes all that necessarily always comes off in the writing. I think a lot of it is also just Rose having a different approach sometimes to things, where she doesn't like immediately assess herself as the smartest in the room anymore. Kind of feels that way, I guess. Maybe I could be corrected if somebody understands these characters better than I do, because again, I'm not actually that good at character analysis itself. But yeah, seeing her just drawn like that a lot is definitely something. Rorblalorb. Rorblalorb itself is funny. One thing to consider is that Tavros did develop during the quest and stood up for himself, but now that he is prototype, it just didn't happen, even though that wouldn't make sense at all. yeah. There are definitely, see, that this is part of it all, right? Like, where I enjoy what the setup for all of these conversations and the actual subject matter of a lot of them. I definitely really like John Carcat and Dave's interaction, and I definitely really like the Dave, Rose, and Kanaya and Roxy being in the background there. I like those a lot, right? But I also remember that there were some that just felt quite off to me too, right? Like, and I don't remember exactly what, and I could remember how I read, but we don't have time for that. That being said, peak panel, I think, right here. Man, I remember being spoiled on this panel because of that one freaking video, that one meme video of the freaking "If I Were Gay" song, and this was like kind of in that, so I got spoiled on this panel, and I had a completely different view of when this would happen, because that was way earlier in me reading the comics, so. I had I did not expect anything that happened to lead up to this panel. Basically, I thought that it would that this sort of reunion would have happened way sooner. Yeah, Kraft, I really want you to hear your rant about John Spade's Terezi. You dropped hints on how you have problems with it a few times. I have. I honestly don't have that many. Yes, bump. This is good. I like this. Okay, my main I don't know. Okay, now we have the choice thing. Okay, so essentially, my main problem with John Spade's Terezi is that realistically, if Kismesistude were to be treated as it was when it was first explained, John would not be able to, give back the same feelings, right? It's supposed to be an alien form of romance that is both unfamiliar to humans and they don't have the capacity to feel it. It is specifically explaining feelings that the trolls have that humans don't. It's literally says in the romance explanation that humans only need the heart, but trolls have a much wider experience of romantic feelings than humans, so they have heart and then these three other symbols. They literally say that, and so to imply that, oh no, it would be fine if they had that going on, Karkat explaining, no, John, this is it, you're feeling it right now. That just feels like the comic is betraying itself and what it established previously. I know that some people don't agree on that, and I know that some people just in general like the prospect of Terezi Spade's John, and I don't disagree. It is kind of a fun prospect, but I generally feel like if there were to be a troll romance relationship with a human in it, it would be a Moirail ship, because then at least if the troll had Moirail feelings for them, but the human had sort of hearts, sort of mate spirit feelings, but maybe a little less, maybe something more akin to a queer platonic relationship, that would make way more sense. Because Mesistude, I just mechanically cannot see how it would even work with a human in the equation. I'm sorry. That's my main issue. It's mainly mechanical. If you like the ship, just conceptually, I'm completely fine with it. I'm just saying that it doesn't work with the mechanics that were established earlier. I just feel like there is that big inconsistencies there, and that's really my main issue with it. I also know that some people actually ship John and Terezi mate spirit ways, and I think that's pretty fun too. Not a shipper of that myself, but I've seen some fan art and it's pretty fun. Or actually specifically June x Terezi in that way. That's also fun. That's my the Spades John Rezi rant, Doc. Hope you ate up. But okay, so you're saying you do agree that it started that started as a joke and then it wanted to be fleshed out in that way that humans are able to feel it. Okay, I understand that, but see, I think part of it is also that I in general feel like that is less interesting. I in general feel like that is less interesting than what it could than the concept of it truly being an alien feeling that humans are incapable of just biologically. That is just like world building wise way more interesting, and I guess that's also a big reason why I'm sticking around to that interpretation, you know, and why I kind of reject what Karkat is saying here. That's, I guess, an addendum then to the rant. Cassie remembering what happened earlier in the comic, that's asking too much of them. I don't think it's that... I do think that at a certain point they start treating their own writing from the past less seriously, which is a problem. Like, maybe not, maybe it is really just like, oh, it's not worth it to explore it as I wanted to explore it originally, or maybe it's not worth it to actually like acknowledge this as it was like this. Maybe it's like different stuff like that. I don't have like a peer, like a view into what they were thinking. Like, I don't, right? Like, I don't have that. So I don't want to assume too much. But yeah, it does feel weird. Also, hello Parzival. I hope, if you're here again, I hope you don't mind the spoilers. We went from A6, I5 to A6, A6, I5 on 2 streams. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself on that.
Yeah, we got around to doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We should probably be ending soon though.
Yeah, this stream for today specifically, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired.
I am too. Yeah. Again, since this is just like pure conversation, pure filling in like relationship gaps, which there could have been more, like I said before, but like the fact that we have this is pretty satisfying to me. I like that. Again, some things that I just don't understand or feel iffy about, but that's honestly fine. In the end, in the end, I was satisfied with a lot of what's here and in general in this intermission. So that's I guess my conclusion on it. You know what? Okay, let's end it here because I think later on we'll get into like my feelings in general about the characters, how they ended up and stuff. So let's end it here. Okay, we'll start off from this, probably breeze through this and then get to Collide, and I will try to set up some more slides on my presentation to talk about more general topics in the comic itself at the very end after we get to after watching the credits next time around. So yeah, next time by all intents and purposes should be the last post discussion stream, and I'm sure that you know, I originally meant it to be a sort of comprehensive view onto my thoughts and feelings on the comic, but you know, experiencing it being delayed, experiencing the fact that seeing all of these panels again, getting to talk with you all about specific things, it did make me realize that I really don't have like a solid concrete view on my own view of the comic, on my own feelings. So that's kind of a fool's errand to try to pinpoint that down when I don't even know how I feel about it myself precisely, especially with how many moving parts there are and how many times the comic just kind of feels like it shifts focus. So we'll get to just some specific general topics, and we'll see if what I have to say about that. I will again try to prepare specific slides for that, and yeah, I guess that'll be it then. Again, this series went to places where I didn't think it would. I certainly didn't think that we would be doing this thing where we're going like skipping past panels, and that's mainly what we're doing. But yeah, it did end up being that way. I guess I sort of regret it, but I guess there's also just no going back now. Hopefully, when it comes to like things that I feel about the comic, or like specific things that I felt before, but I didn't like, you know, remember to actually mention in this series, it'll come up eventually at another point, maybe while I'm, you know, covering the epilogues or post-canon, or maybe when I'm playing the video games. We'll see about all of that, and yeah, I guess just it's not it wasn't how I envisioned the series to be, but I guess that's okay. There will be more opportunities for me to talk about Homestuck later on anyway. So yeah.
Alright.
Question of the day.
Complicated one for today, I think.
The game over question from last stream was I definitely don't want to retread that with just asking about this general, like, well, your general feelings about this. Obviously, if you want to write about that, like if you're watching this in a VOD or if you're still here and you're like, oh, I want to express my feelings about this entire part of the comic, you can definitely do that. But I don't think I want to make that the question of the day because, honestly, while I, constantly repeat, yes, I understand your feelings about this, I understand why somebody would feel like this about this, it did get me a bit into a downer mood, seeing all of the blatant criticism of this, and just, people in general not liking parts of it very much. It did get me into a bit of a downer mood, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe not like hearable from the tone of my voice, but yeah, I am feeling pretty weird about it right now, just after this stream. Hopefully it'll pass. Hopefully I'll get into a better mood. So I don't really want that to be the question of the day. I don't know what would be the question of the day though. I don't know.
Question. Yeah, it's hard. Told you.
Do you have an idea?
Not really, sorry. I don't have any today.
Yeah, I have
Guys?
nothing. I honestly have nothing.
Guys, help us here. Oh yeah, question.
In my final moments of reading back the chat messages that I missed, maybe if y'all have any ideas. Fullbound says, I was so excited to see John meet Jake. That was certainly a really cool part of it to me, because it was teased so early on in that letter, them talking about movies and such, and we do get a pretty good conversation out of that pairing, but problem is, again, at this point there isn't enough of it. There are way too many diversions from what the characters wanted to do or meant to do, that again, we only get that real moment of peace, that real short moment of peace only now in the comic, and it's a bit too little too late, right? Like after everything. Because these characters are in such a different situation than they were before. And seeing like fan works from earlier on in the comic, like when the comic wasn't finished yet, there were so many people that were anticipating, some like more calmer moments before, like more calmer like moments before them going to fight Lord English. There are so many fan works that portray these characters meeting up like before any calamity or anything, just having that moment like before the comic obviously got to those parts, and just. It's such a shame to see that in its rush to get to the most important parts of the story, of the probably planned story, it did get to the point where, you were missing a lot what could have been there, or I guess what you feel like should have happened, or you feel like the comic hinted at happening in the future, I guess. I don't know, it's...
Okay, I do have an idea for a question, but I'm not sure if it's good.
What is it?
If you could have had the retcon remove one character from the story,
oh my god,
what would it have been?
no, that is no. I don't want more negativity, please, no. How about?
Okay, then, if you could have had the retcon bring one character more background and more story, what would it have been?
Alright, fine. Just one. That's actually pretty intense. Okay. Question of the day. What is the 1566th prime number? Hopefully, I don't know. Sorry about that, Craft. The Woundsetter part was probably overkill on my part. No, I understand just expressing your feeling, but yeah, I won't hide that it did mess me up a little internally. I didn't expect the mood in chat to be so negative today. I just straight up didn't.
Oh well, I think it's time to end.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, so that's the question of the day. Put that in the comments if you feel so inclined. Like the stream, show this series to a friend if you have anybody that would maybe enjoy like a reaction to Homestuck, and yeah, that's pretty much it. See you all tomorrow for Disco Elysium, and we'll see how the finale of this goes, of this very, very scuffed series. Very, very scuffed. Alright, see y'all, bye-bye.
Bye bye everyone.
Bye.